Okay, today we're going to be working with the loft tool. Loft tool is found under the construct button here. You have the extrude, sweep, revolve, and loft. Loft allows you to add solid material through a series of different shapes. It comes in handy for making different types of pieces. We'll start with some simple things. First thing I'm going to do is draw a circle on my page and just go ahead and make it any size, and then I'm going to rotate that circle to 90 degrees so I can show you what I'm going to do with it. Have that. Go ahead and kind of look at it here, and with the circle selected I'm going to copy the circle and then paste it back on there. I used the shortcut Control C and then Control V to paste it on. I'm going to go ahead and pull myself another circle out here away from the item a little bit. That's good enough. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy this one again. Copy this one and paste another circle and pull it over here a little of the way. Now what I'm going to do so that you can see what's occurring is I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of this circle a little bit. So I'll take my scale and maybe just make it a little larger like that, and then I'm going to take this one and go ahead and scale it and maybe make it a little smaller than the original circle that I drew. So there we go, we have those. Let me get myself back in here so you can kind of see better as to what's going on. So here's our circles. They're all in line with themselves, and they don't have to be in line, but they're in line at this point. Now what you do is you basically choose your loft button and you would select a profile and then click on the next profile in the line, and you see that it adds the material between there. And then if I want to continue adding material, I would click the second profile and go ahead and grab the third one, and there you go. You have a part that's been constructed from surface to surface, or from the sketches that you drew. And that's kind of unique, and it's neat to play with. There's a lot of things you can do with that. Also, if you don't want that more definitive arc, this line here, what you can do is you can take your shift key and go ahead and select this circle and hold your shift key down, click through all of your profiles so that you have them all highlighted, and then go back up to your construct button and grab the loft, and when you click on it, what you see is a more smooth arc that's placed between those points. And that allows you to take the same points, the same series of circles, and create a different shape. So that's one basic way of lofting. To go ahead and give you some ideas as to what else can be done with this, we'll just keep these circles in place, and then I'm going to select the second one, and I'm going to use my moving tool, and let's see, maybe slide this one down a ways and go back, and then I'm going to go ahead and do this with the smoothing aspect. I tend to like how that looks better. It's just a preference thing. So I've held my shift key down again, and I'll go back up here and grab my loft, and as you notice, it's kind of like a banana or something of that shape I've created with that. The beauty of this is that if you have to create something like maybe a tailpiece of a car or something of that nature, I'm going to get these out of the way, you can join together a series of different shapes and circles and sizes, or a series all of the same size. Let's go ahead and just delete this and delete this one, and go ahead, I'm going to copy this one again and say, just go ahead, I'm going to start pulling a bunch of them out here. Just keep hitting Control V. It should, click off of that, and Control V will let me have another one. since I've already got it copied, maybe pull that one here and then pull out some more, and I'm going to just show you a little bit more about the power of this. Let's go ahead and grab one more of these and maybe push it this direction so that I have more on the same plane. Now I'm going to turn this around a little bit so I can see where I'm going with it. Go ahead and make it fit so I can see all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and move it, pretty far away. And then I'm going to take this one and just move it part of the way this way. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this third one that I have here. Oops. Come on. I grabbed them both. That's not a good thing. Grab this one and maybe move it even further away. Get this to where I can see it again. And move it way over here, further away than the other. And then let's grab this back one here and kind of move it this way a little bit. So if you look at these from the top view, then you can see they kind of, curve like this. Let's see what happens if we try to join those all together. So I'm going to click on this one, go ahead and hold down my shift key and select them all in the order I want them to join. And then this may cause some conflict, but we'll see. Nope, it went ahead and did it anyway. So, I know that looks a little oblique and it has a lot of thinness to it. And the reasoning for that is because of the angle as it turns. If you wanted this to remain this same thickness, then you would have to apply your math to understand at what angle each of these need to be in relationship to the other in order for them to maintain the same thickness all the way through the piece. I'll just give you a quick example of that. I'll hit Control Z here and go back in here and grab this circle and click on Move. And I want to rotate this a little bit. Spin it this way a little. And I'll spin this one a little bit. Just, not to be exact. I'm not going to go through all the math with you on that right now. That would be something that you would need to do and, learn about. That's where research really comes in handy. And the more you understand about math and engineering and design, the more accurate you can be. So now if we look at this again from the top view, you see that I'm trying to pass through these objects. This is going to be real tight through here. So I might want to see if I can move this one. Excuse me. Let me see if I can move this one a little bit more towards me. If I can slide it this way a little bit, that may be more beneficial when I go to loft. Still going to be pretty tight. Let's move it a little more. And you can trial and error forever, and that's both good and bad. If I honestly was building this, I would definitely apply the math first. But what we'll do is we'll go back and grab a hold of this, and I'll use the shift key and go ahead and select them all. And hopefully, nope, I don't think that one's selected. There we go. Select through that one and then go ahead and loft back through these. Now I have something conflicting, so let's see. It may just be because of the angle, and the loft program will do that. If it's trying to make a turn that's impossible, it won't. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I selected them right first before seeing if that's the issue. I may have done something incorrectly. If you noticed, I had to choose that last one several different times. So my first thing would be to check it, and sure enough, it was how I clicked on my profiles. But as you notice, the shape has changed a little bit. Let's go ahead and just pull this one out here so you can see the difference maybe as it's occurring. And then let's kind of do something different with these. Move this one around a little bit, maybe push it back this way and pull it over this way so that I get, a better curve from here. And let's take this one and think about how that circle is going to occur, that loft is going to occur, and maybe turn it this way a little more. And go ahead and click that. Then I want to take this one, and if you notice what I'm doing, I'm trying to get them to follow a more of a smoother arced path. Go ahead and get back to my top view here for a minute. Use my pan tool. I want to see how far. You see I'm kind of cutting through there and curving here, and this is going to be a really wicked turn, so that's going to have a real thin area here. So I'm going to go here and click on this one, take my move tool, go ahead and drag it over this way some, and then I'm going to see if I can't pull it this way some so that I can get a smoother transition between those. Okay, now we'll just go back, use the shift key again. I'll select my circle, hit shift, and make sure that I select these in the proper order, and realizing the whole time that if I don't, it'll definitely give me an invalid operation. Then I'll go back to my construct button, grab the loft tool, and as you can see, this is much more uniform throughout the shape. I hope you all have a better idea of what to do with the lofting tool. And it's not just circles that you can do this with. You could do it with rectangles and everything. In fact, let's just go ahead and make sure that you see that before closing off here. I'll just dump this out of the way. It's just a quick drawing for practice, and I will draw myself maybe a rectangle here somewhere. Let's just draw one like this, and and you can do it through different shapes. I could show you with the rectangles only, but I'll just go ahead and add a few more shapes into this. I'm going to rotate it. I like to rotate it because it allows me to do different work. And let's do it let's just do something like put it at a 50-degree angle. Slide this around, pardon me. Grab it and hit Control C and V so that I can copy it. If you notice, it wants me to take it from here and move it away from the object, and that's good. So let's do that, and then I'm going to make sure that it's highlighted again because I want to rotate that back down towards the face. I think you'll see what's going on as I do it. So I'm going to turn this one a little this way, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy that one because I want to proceed from here. And Control C and V and slide this out. Give me a pan going here so I can move a little bit of the way away, and go ahead and move this a little further, and I'm going to move it down a little bit, and then I'm going to rotate this one. And I think from the previous exercise you see what's going to go on. I'm going to pass my material from here up through here and down through here, and like I said, this could be ending up in a circle. So let's go ahead and just pop one in, and I'm going to go down to my surface and get over here somewhere away from that. Maybe I want to end this all up in a circle shape where it connects to the other part, and we'll just go ahead and kind of look at that. I'm going to get my top view going here because I want to put these in line with each other. And if I were doing this for the purpose of engineering a part, then I would have just, as always, applied math to make sure everything stayed in the correct line, and stayed on the same plane that I was working on. I would have made myself a grid line or something of that nature so that I knew where I was. Okay, with those four in place, kind of pan over here so you can see these as they occur, and we'll just do these one at a time so you can see it as it goes through each one. I'll just click there and there, and then I will go back, make sure my tool is selected, and click here, and then to the next profile, and then click off, and with my tool selected again, I would click from this profile to the circle, and as you notice, it took everything down into a circular shape. It kind of looks like maybe a piece to a vacuum or something of that nature. And we'll pull that one out of the way, slide it over here, and I will go ahead and show you how the transitions are more smooth as you see all these arcs and points, if you do it all from selecting them to begin with. So I select my profile using the shift key. I select all the profiles in consecutively, and then jump up here, grab my loft profile, and you notice the difference. It's a whole different part. It's similar, probably the same volumes to a certain degree, but that's more stylish and would definitely make a better looking vacuum head. And speaking of, let's say this is a vacuum head, it would be nice if that were hollow. So, and I'm not sure, so this may be a stretch for me, but let's see if the shell feature, which removes material from an object, will do so on one that has multiple characteristics to it. In other words, goes from rectangular to circular, if it recognizes that. But let's give it a try. I'm going to get rid of some things and pull this over here, and I'm going to flip this over so I can select one of the faces. Now just remember where that is. Here we go, the shell tool. And the purpose behind this tool is if you select a surface, let's see if it will let me do that. I may have to move it. Let's just go ahead and get this grid off. It's driving me crazy for this thing. I can't see where I'm at. And let's grab the shell. And it says that I need to select a face, and I have. And that says that's too much, so maybe if I move to the outside, it'll allow me to do it. No, let's see, 0.05. Let's get really tiny here. Let's get to the inside and go 0.05, or let's go 1. No, there's I think because of the lofting, it won't allow it to occur, and I could be wrong. So we can go ahead and maybe try it on this face. Click the face first and see what happens. And no, it's not going to let me either way. And like I said, this is something I hadn't tried before, so we would have to figure out another way to do that. I do believe it's possible, but you may have to do it from piece to piece and then just fillet your arcs afterwards to get your smooth transitions. Or it may be something that just doesn't occur once you've lofted a profile at all. Be something interesting to see. I mean, I know we could get a way around it, and I'll show you how we could get around it. Is let's come on, let's problem solve a little bit. Let's select this object. Let's hit Control C and Control V. Now we have that object right there. It's selected, and with that object setting inside of the other one, let's see if we can scale that object so that it's smaller inside of there. It's just a thought, and might have to move it around a little bit to get it exactly where I need it. And this is probably not the best way to do this, but playing with software, learning some things, solving problems, you may learn something somebody's never done before. So and if you notice, I'll show you what I'm going to do so you'll understand what I was trying to accomplish, but it's definitely not going to work. Is I'm going to go over here to my combining tool, and I'm going to choose subtract. I wanted to keep the outside and do away with the inside, which if I select them in that order and hit enter, what happens is that material has been cut away. It's kind of hard to see there, but that's why you see these holes. The piece on the inside has definitely been, you know, cut through and cut a lot of different parts away from it. So yeah, and since it didn't cut it all as a solid piece, that's probably pretty obvious why the shelling tool didn't work. But, you know, fun to play with. Ended up with a cool part. You know, maybe something I needed later on. But definitely not what I was trying to accomplish. But, you know, as you can see, that's really neat to look at. And gives you an idea of the shell feature while you're playing with it. So, thanks for watching this one. Go ahead and practice with the lofting tool and look at the assignment. Create what's on the assignment to the best of your ability, and then submit your 123D design file to me via Canvas. Thanks for watching.